This video has been rated C for cringy. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi, I'm Michael Sharp. You probably know me as Michael Sharp from class. Today I want to talk to you about the mixed member proportional electoral system. Now I know what you're thinking. This guy's going to give us some egghead scientific explanation. And you'd be right. But that doesn't mean we can't have a little bit of fun along this journey. I encourage you to take accurate notes, as there will be questions at the end. These questions could be quite simple, such as how many states use a mixed-member proportional electoral system, and what are some of the common issues found with this system, to more complicated ones, like how many costume changes there were, and which of the many characters you found to be the most conventionally attractive. This video will be easy to follow, and each major section will be identified as we come to it. Let's begin. So what is an MMP system? Well, first of all, is a mixed system. It is used in 8 states and the German Länder. Voters cast 2 votes. The first is for a candidate in a single-member district. The second is for a proportional list. The legislature will be divided into 2 main groups. Those who won their seats in single-member district, and the others who won their seats from top-up seats, awarded based on the party's PR list. The purpose of these top-up seats is to make it more proportional. By this it can be understood that if a party receives 10% of the vote, they will hold 10% of the seats. However, if that party already won 12% of the single-member district seats, then they will receive none of the top-up seats. This may appear confusing, but let's look at a more visual example. Let's say you are voting in your single-member district, and there are 4 candidates to choose from. Candidate 1 is from Party Alpha. He's a nice-looking fellow. Candidate 2 from Party Bravo. He's a dirty smoker. Candidate 3 from Party Charlie, and is a disgusting woman. And Candidate 4 from Party Delta. That is a bit of a Canadian stereotype. Now these candidates represent you in your single-member riding, so only one can win. Now if these candidates set off on their race, off they go, their chance of winning are not all the same, since this is a single-member plurality race, which usually results in 2 parties being favored. Here we see Candidate 1 is looking quite determined, Candidate 2 is really trying, Candidate 3 makes me want to throw up in my mouth, and Candidate 4, who is probably wearing the wrong clothes for this particular race. And now we see Candidate 1 has emerged triumphant, and they are celebrating. Good for him. However, another candidate has won in your region, because they were on their party list. And it is Candidate 3. And that is just repulsive. Let's look to see how these races actually worked. So let's say there are 100 seats in the legislature. 50 of them are filled by single-member districts. The other 50 by PR lists. Now each party will be represented by the candidates we saw in their race. Party Alpha will be represented by that handsome fellow. And they got 25 seats. Party Bravo will be represented by the dirty smoker, who got 20 seats. Party Charlie, represented by the disgusting woman, got 2 seats. And Party Delta, represented by our little stereotypical friend, got 3 seats. Now in our example, the 50 PR seats will be determined by a single national riding. Here we see that Party Alpha got 42% of the proportional vote. Party Bravo got 20%. Party Charlie got 26%. And Party Delta 12%. While this certainly tells us something about how voters behave and think, it isn't quite everything just yet. We've established that Party Alpha got 42% of the vote. Since our legislature has 100 seats, this translates to 42 seats, and therefore Party Alpha will receive 17 of the top-up seats available. Party Bravo got 20% of the vote, which means 20 seats, and therefore will receive none of the top-up seats available. Party Charlie got 26% of the vote, which means 26 seats, and will therefore receive 24 top-up seats. Party Delta got 12% of the vote, so 12 seats, and therefore will receive 9 top-up seats. If it is unclear why Party Bravo received no top-up seats, is because they had already won 20 seats from the single-member districts. Alternatively, it is possible that a party could have been awarded more seats through single-member districts than they would have been allocated through the top-up seats, such as they received 30 seats by winning single-member districts, but only 20% of the vote. In this case, they would not lose their seats, and the effort would be made to bring the seats allocated to the other parties as close to proportional as can be achieved. To see this finally one different way, we will see the 50 single-member district seats awarded to each different party. The 25 for Alpha, the 20 for Bravo, the 2 for Charlie, and the 3 for Delta. We will then see the 50 PR list seats, the 17 for Alpha, the 0 for Bravo, the 24 for Charlie, and the 9 for Delta. So what are the benefits of having an MMP system? Well, the first one comes from voter psychology. In single-member plurality, sometimes voters feel like their votes have been wasted. In MMP, their votes are always counting, not necessarily towards their local representative, but their regional one. On that note, they do still have local representation, and they have the choice to go towards their local representative or towards a regional one if they have concerns they want to bring towards government. There's also the aspect of functionality. A purely proportional system does have some difficulty. They end up having to form coalitions often, which can sometimes result in a weak governing body, or one that takes a long time to form. MMP tries to remain proportional, but functional.
Hi. Michael isn't here right now. Instead you get me. Devil's advocate. He's talked a lot about what a great system this is. I intend to prove him wrong. The logic in this system producing proportional results is certainly valid. However, his example is too childish for my tastes and doesn't accurately reflect the proportion states really have. As seen here, the most perfectly divided percentage is 50-50 SMP to PR, though the worst is 74 to 26 SMP to PR. In his silly example, we didn't see any mention of thresholds, and all parties were represented. What a childish notion, as we see that thresholds exist, though not in all cases. While that may be good for representation, it can certainly be bad for functionality, which will allow fringe parties into government sowing their chaos. Can it be concluded, then, that an MMP system can provide a meaningful alternative to a disproportionate, though quite functional, SMP system? Hardly. Each case needs to be looked at individually. If the state employing MMP uses a high amount of SMP seats and a small PR district magnitude, then you may as well not even use a proportional component since the results will barely differ. If the reverse is put into place, large parties will crumble, small parties take control, and while that can lead to coalitions, we will see again that the chaos fringe parties can sow. I'll now return you to your regularly scheduled program.
Voter psychology district electoral formula single member PR district.
I do hope that this has been a positive journey for you, and that you appreciate the knowledge you now have about MMP systems. This system is far from perfect, but that does not mean that it is an inferior system. I do hope that you will make up your own mind now on whether or not you feel that an MMP system is a meaningful and useful alternative to a fully plurality system or a fully proportional system. Thank you for your attention.